Hello and welcome to this digital camera magazine video tutorial. Today we're going to show you how to enrich images with selective colour, and hopefully the final result will look something like this. Now this has been processed using a raw file, and if we just did the usual adjustments and imported that into Photoshop, it would look something like this. So you can see although it's vibrant, it's a little bit lackluster. So what we've done is used a series of techniques within Adobe Camera Raw just to boost some of the more vibrant colours but keep the more neutral colours muted so that they don't look unrealistic. So first thing we need to do is open up our raw file, and you'll find that on this month's CD. So once it's opened within Adobe Camera Raw, what we want to do is just to turn on our clipping warnings, so showing any areas of the image where the shadows or highlights are being clipped, and to do this simply hit U and then O on your keyboard. Now the red areas that you suddenly see appear show where your highlights are being clipped, and the blue areas show where your shadows are being clipped. So what we now know is that the adjustments that we make using ACR need to pull back as much of those two areas as possible. So first of all, we'll take a look at the highlights. Now we don't have many blown highlights in this picture, but we just want to use recovery just to pull as much of those back as possible. So if we go down to our recovery slider and just start to increase that, and you can very quickly just see some of the red areas in the picture disappearing. So I'll take that up to about 40, and you can see the areas which were showing that they were being clipped on the car and a few areas on the coins are now back into our tonal range. Unfortunately, there are still a few bits and pieces outside, but we don't need to worry about those too much. As we did with the highlights, we can also pull back a lot of information from the shadows. So if we go to fill light, and we're going to increase that to about 40, and again you can very quickly see all of that blue clipping, which was showing where areas were being clipped in the shadows, has suddenly disappeared. So we've now got quite a nice histogram to work with, and what we want to do now is to have a look at the actual colour information within the picture and boost the vibrant colours and then keep the neutral colours neutral. So to do this, we're going to use the vibrance and the saturation slider. Now normally if you want to boost the colour within a picture, you just increase the saturation, which would increase all of the colour information within the image. So if I do that now and increase the saturation to 40, we can suddenly see all of the colours within the picture have really increased. Unfortunately, what that also means is some areas which have a slight cast on, such as the metal area in the background here, have also started to absorb or enhance the colours which they were reflecting. And because we just want to selectively enhance the sort of more vibrant colours within the picture, we want to actually pull those sort of more muted colours back. And we can do that using the vibrant slider. Now its vibrant slider is more commonly associated with skin tones and portraits, but it also works well in this sort of situation. So what we're going to do is just pull the vibrance down to about -30, and you can instantly see those grey areas have taken out a lot of that colour casting, and they've become a lot more neutral. So there we have our raw file. We've adjusted the shadows and the highlights, and we've also used the vibrance and the saturation slider to selectively boost areas of the colour within the picture. So once we're happy, all we need to do now to open it in Photoshop Elements is click Open Image. So whilst that loads, I'll see you in the next part where we start to boost some more of those colours.